Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, our task here is to present about electrical hazard for the subject BEEY 1313 Electronics Workshop. We are from class 1 BEEY S1/2. My name is Muhammad Norafiq bin Noor AZIAN B08211015 and my group member Muhammad Norafiq bin Johar B082110 Joanna anak DELON B082110 and Michelle Huilin B082110 and our lecturer is Madam KAMILAH binti JAFFAR. So without wasting any time, we are going to proceed with Joanna.
Hi, my name is Joanna anak DELON, number matrix B0821100062. Today I'm going to present about electric hazard. Electric hazard is a dangerous condition such that contact or equipment failure can result in electric shock, arc flash burn, thermal burn, or blast. These are the dangers of electricity. Electric hazard may cause death or personal injury from electric shock, burn from live wire contact, fires from faulty wiring, overloading circuit, leaving electrical parts exposed, electrocution or burn from lack of PPE, explosion and fire from explosive and flammable substance, contact with overhead power lines, and lastly, electrical exposure to water. So these are the example of electrical hazard symbol.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Norafiq and I will continue on electrical shock. Electric current touches or flows through the body. This is well known as an electrical shock. It can happen wherever there is live electricity. The effects of an electrical shock range from none at all to severe injury and death. Alright guys, so me, Faiq, will further our presentation with preventing electric shock in your home. Alright, so the first point, we need to learn how electricity works. The first step in preventing a dangerous situation is to understand the cause of electric shock. Read books, articles, websites, and blogs about electricity and safety measures to take when working with electricity. Right. So, next point, know your limits. There are some simple electrical problems around the house that we can handle it. However, if there are major electrical issues, leave it to a professional electrician. It may be expensive, but it is cheaper than a stint in the hospital. For the third point, find out electricity requirements. The items and appliances in your household all have their own electrical requirements. Know the specific types of circuit breakers, fuses, and even light bulbs that are required in your home. Make sure to replace them with the right parts when needed. Using incompatible parts could cause the equipment to function improperly, or it may create an unsafe condition that may result in fire, injury, or death. Alright, so for the fourth point, turn the electricity off. The first step that you need to take before attempting to fix any electrical problems yourself is to turn the electricity off in your home. This will help to ensure that even if you make a mistake, you won't be electrocuted. For the fifth point, cover your sockets and outlets. Covering outlets with wall panels is necessary for preventing accidental contact with wires and is required by code. If you live with small children, it is also wise to use socket safety plugs to keep curious fingers safe from injury. Right. Next point, install GFCI breakers, outlets, and adapters. GFCI or ground fault circuit interrupter devices are able to detect imbalance in the amount of electricity flowing through an appliance and will cut off power at the GFCI device. GFCI receptacles are required in most new construction homes in places where electric shock is possible, such as the bathroom, the kitchen, and outdoors. So, for the seventh point, avoid common mistakes. There are a handful of common mistakes people make when attempting to make electrical fixes in their homes. You need to be aware of these mistakes and take all the necessary precautions to avoid. Some things to avoid are Avoid touching a bare wire that may be conducting a current. Avoid overloading power strips and other receptacles with multiple plugs. Using only 2 plugs per outlet lessens the risk of shock and fire. Utilize 3-prong plugs whenever possible. The third prong, which grounds the electrical current, should never be removed. Never assume that someone else turned off the power source. Always check it first before doing anything else. Alright, this 8th point is very important. It is we need to avoid water. Store and use electric devices away from water. Water and electricity do not mix well, and appliances should always be kept away from any moisture. This will prevent any accidental shocks from occurring. Never use an electrical appliance while in the bath or shower. If your toaster or another electric appliance is near your kitchen sink, never use the running water and the appliance at the same time. Keep it unplugged when not in use. Store outdoor electrical equipment in a place where it will be kept dry, like a garage shaft. If a plug-in appliance falls into water, do not attempt to retrieve it until you turn off power to the corresponding circuit. Once the power is off, you may retrieve the device. Once it is dry, it can be evaluated by an electrician to see if it's suitable for future use. Alright, next, replace worn or damaged equipment. We must pay attention to the condition of our electric devices and maintain them regularly. Some signs that indicate a need for repair are sparking, issuing of small shocks, frayed or damaged cords, heat from electrical outlets, recurrent short-circuiting, and there are only a few signs of wear and tear. If something else seems strange, contact an electrician. It's always better to be safe than sorry. Right, for the 10th point, turn the power back on. Once we have made the necessary repairs and are ready to test the appliance or outlet we have fixed, turn the power switch on our main panel back to the on position, like in the picture. And we may need to reset our circuit breakers as well. To do this, flip the switch on each individual breaker to off, then flip it back to on. And for the 11th point, we need to consider installing safety outlets and outlet covers. And for the last but not least, we need to be sure that the appliance is set at the appropriate setting for the outlet that we are plugging in. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Alright, now I will continue on preventing electrical shock on the job. First, turn off the power source. Whenever a project involves exposure to electrical equipment or electricity, check and double check that the power is off before begin your work. Again, there should be a main electric panel for the entire facility. Find this panel and flip the switch to off. Second, wear protective gear. Rubber sole shoes and non-conductive gloves provide a barrier. Putting a rubber mat on the floor is another effective precaution. Rubber does not conduct electricity and will help you avoid getting shocked when you're doing the work. Continue to number 3, exercise caution when operating power tools. Make sure that all of your tools have a 3-pronged plug and inspect all equipment for signs of damage. It's also important to turn off power tools before connecting them to electricity. Always keep your power tools away from water and clear the work area of flammable gas, vapors and solvents when tools are in use. Now we go to number 4, double up. It is always wise to have a second person around to assist you when you're working with electricity. This second person can double check to ensure you have followed all necessary precautions. Also, if something does go wrong and you do get shocked, this second person can immediately get you the help you need. Never assume anything when dealing with electricity. Lastly, number 5, call a professional for big jobs. Working with electricity is inherently dangerous and complicated. If you are not completely confident in your skills, bring in a trusted electrician to complete the job. That's all from me. Thank you.
Going to talk about how to prevent electric shock in a lightning storm. First, check the weather report. It may sound obvious, but making sure you have a clear forecast for your outdoor adventure is crucial to avoid getting caught in an electrical storm. Even if you are just gone for an afternoon, weather can change quickly, and the best prevention is preparedness. Know the change of a thunderstorm in the outdoor area you plan to visit and plan to head in long before the lightning is due to start. Next, watch for signs of a coming storm. Pay attention to change in temperature, increases in wind, or darkening of the sky. Listen for thunder. If it looks like a storm rolling in, stop what you are doing and take shelter immediately. Then you need to find a shelter. If you are outside and the storm approaches, quickly heading indoors is the only real way to be protected from lightning. Look for a complete enclosed shelter with its own electricity and plumbing like a house. If that option is not available, hiding out in a car with the door closed and windows up is also a safe bet. Not reliable shelter inside? Reduce your risk with these preventive guidelines. Stay low, avoid open areas, avoid metal and water. Covered picnic area, stand-alone restroom, facility, tents, and other small structure will not keep you safe. Lastly, wait it out. Whether indoors or out, do not leave your chosen safety area for at least half an hour after the last clap of thunder is heard. If you have any doubts or whether or not the storm has passed, stay inside.
Mitigating the damage. First, we need to keep a fire extinguisher handy. Keep a fire extinguisher ready to go in areas where we work with electrical equipment. Fire extinguisher for use on electrical fire will have a C, BC or ABC on the label. Next, we need to prepare for the worst. No matter how many precautions are in place, electric shock is always a risk when the electricity is in use. If the shock occurs, it is important to be prepared in order to handle the situation safely. Besides that, we also need to call for help. In the case of an electric emergency, always call the emergency services. It is unwise to try to treat the victim ourselves when an electrical shock has occurred. Not only just that, we should not touch a victim of shock with bare hands. Shock victims usually don't hold the electricity in their bodies for very long. However, we must always be cautious as the victim could potentially still be conducting electricity. Use a non-conductive barrier like with rubber glove, if at all possible, to touch or move the victim. Not only just that, we must also turn off the power source if possible. If it's not possible, move the victim away from the source with a non-conductive material like a piece of wood. We should only try to move an electrical shock victim if the person is in immediate danger. Besides that, we also need to check for their vitals. Once we are certain that the victim is no longer conducting electricity, check to see if the person is breathing. If the person is not breathing, begin CPR immediately while someone else alert emergency medical services. OSHA safety rules for working around electricity states that you have about 4 minutes to get help for an electric shock victim, so move quickly. Besides that, we also need to wait for medical help to arrive. Stay calm and keep the victim lying horizontally with his legs slightly elevated until medical arrive. Once helps arrive, stay out of the paramedics' way. If the paramedics ask for any assistance, follow their instructions. In conclusion, electricity can kill or severely injure people and cause damage to property. However, we can take simple precautions when working with or near electricity and electrical equipment to significantly reduce the risk of injury to us, our co-workers, and other people around us. Thank you.